Okay, what is going on, guys? Welcome to Stock Talk with Nico Criticos. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to use AI to analyze stocks. This is what I do on a normal basis, and in today's example, we're going to be doing it for Intuitive Surgical, which is a stock that has always been an interesting one, but it always trades at a very high valuation. Therefore, I have never bought it. So, if we come over here to Intuitive Surgical, you can see that over the past 5 years, it's up 57%, but these last 2 years, it hasn't really, it's back down to where it was 2 years ago. And so the valuation has come down, but for me, it still doesn't make sense to buy this because I feel like it's not going to outperform the index, at least not by a meaningful amount, even if it does. And so it doesn't make sense to take on that much risk because it's still trading at over 50 times earnings, which they're only growing at whatever. They're going to be growing at 15% per year. So it just doesn't make sense. Market cap of 154 billion. This company was founded in 1995. If you don't know, this is a robotic assisted surgical solutions and invasive care company with a comprehensive ecosystem of products and services, including Da Vinci Surgical and Ion Endoluminal systems. So, if we get into this here, so you could use any different, the most popular AIs is ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, what else? Perplexity. There's other ones out there, but those are probably the most popular. And I've used all of them almost equally now, and they all can make mistakes. I would say the one thing I notice is that sometimes the information, like when I ask for the stock price and stuff, it will not be up to date. It'll be like at least it'll be like a couple days delayed or something. You know what I mean? So it doesn't always give you the most recent data. But other than that, most of the as long as it's not like you're not as long as you're not trying to find like a daily update or something like that, it's going to be fine. So I'll show you a couple examples of like the prompts I give it and the type of responses you're going to get. You're going to get different responses based off of which LLM you use. I lean towards Gemini a little bit, just kind of like the format, the way it talks and stuff. It's just easier. It just makes more sense. I don't really. I would say ChatGPT is a little bit inferior, and then Claude and Perplexity and stuff. Those work good too. I just kind of jump between them, and so here is one example. So I said this is for Intuitive Surgical. I said they have grown revenue on average 18% annually the past 5 years. In the next 2 years, we should see 16% and 13% growth. The ROI has been 13%, has gone from 13% 2 years ago to now 18%. Net margin is now 30%. PE is expected to be 49 for this year's earnings. Revenue growth the next 5 years should be about 15% per year, and the net income and free cash flow last year were $3 billion because I pretty much asked it. Let's see, I think I asked it to make me like what info would I have to give you for you to come up with a fair score or PE or market cap for this company? So it asked for all these different things. I didn't give it all of it, just most of it, because I didn't want to tell it what stock it was. I just wanted to give it some raw data and see how it would score it. So based on the data you provided, this is a high quality compounder and it's paired high revenue growth with spectacular capital efficiency and high margin, which explains why it's trading at 49 times. So, using our quality growth model, this is the weightings for this is it weights ROI is the most important, which is really interesting. Which I've heard this from investors before. ROI is one of those things where it is incredibly important, and it makes a big difference on what type of quality the company is. So they're waiting at 35%. Next up, 25% revenue growth, 20% margin, and then 20% PE. We must first normalize the raw data into a 1 to 10 score. So ROI score 9.5 out of 10. It went from 13% 2 years ago to now 18%. Anything over 15%, it's saying is an elite score, and it's trending up, proving that as the company scales, its moat is widening and management is allocating capital efficiency. Revenue growth 8.5 out of 10. 18% historical 5 year average, and then about 15% moving forward. Sustained double digit growth is rare, and even if it slows down, it's still a strong score. Net margin of 30%, it gave a 10 out of 10, which I agree with that. There's not many companies that get 30% plus. A lot of companies have like an 8%, 10% margin. 30% margin is world class. It means for every dollar of revenue, 30 cents goes to the bottom line. This is massive pricing power. The PE, a 4 out of 10. This is the problem. It trades too rich, which I'll show you the graph here. Here, let's just look at it now. Where's Qualtrim? It's come down. It's come down a lot, which almost makes me want to buy it, but it's still too rich. It still doesn't make sense because I'm not gonna be able to double my money in. I try to double my money with a stock in like 3 years or something. Yeah, roughly 3 years. I mean, you could do it in 1 year. It happens all the time with in just 1 year with a bunch of stocks. So I try for maybe 2 to 3 years. Um, Price to earnings, you can see it normally trades at like 75, and now we're all the way down to 50, but that's still too much. Still too much. I'm sorry. Free cash flow yield is now 1.8%, which is up a lot, but again, not that good. Price to sales, 14. It's down, but again, not that good. So that's why the PE gets a 4. I understand that. The market knows it's a high quality asset, charging a massive premium. Then it weights all these different things and gives you a score 8.2. This lands in the buy zone, anchored heavily by its immaculate fundamental quality despite high valuation. And then to figure out the 49 times earnings is justifiable, we can use the PEG ratio or the Gordon growth model. And we're looking at a PEG ratio of about 2, and then justified PE it should be about a 30. So they're multiplying 15% revenue growth times the 2.2 PEG ratio. Let's see, 15 times 1.8 to 15. Okay, I think that makes sense. And then so they're saying about a 30 is would be the justified PE, which when you look at take 30 times any of these numbers, even what they're gonna do in next couple of years, it's still, you're pricing in the next 3 years of growth for this company. So I'm not buying that. It doesn't make any sense. The justified PE is roughly 30 times. And if they did net income and free cash flow of 3 billion, we could calculate both the current implied market cap. It should be 169 billion, which it is 154 billion. That's based off of if it trades at a PE of 50, though. It shouldn't trade at that, which it probably won't in like 2 years from now. Here's the cash flows going forward, growing at 15% with a 4% a mature 4% terminal growth rate, and then 9% investor hurdle, which is like opportunity cost, the discount rate. And then years 1 through 5, we have in 5 years from now, they're doing $6 billion of cash flow. The sum of present value of these cash flows is 17 billion. You do all the calculation, the total fair intrinsic market cap should be 100 billion. Okay, that's a big drop from where we're at right now. That's a 33% drop. So that's what we have. Then this is another thing I like to ask it. Intuitive Surgical stock analysis. Do they have a moat? Is there any growth catalyst for them? What's your prediction for the stock price, EPS, and PE over the next 5 to 10 years? So it says they are the gold standard of quality compounders in the healthcare tech space. If you were to grade it with our framework, it would score nearly flawless on capital efficiency, margin, and moat, while scoring poorly on valuation. They possess one of the widest, most durable moats in the stock market. That is a little bit of a stretch, but again, that's how these LLMs are. It is built on 3 pillars: high switching costs, which again, I don't take this that seriously because it's not necessarily that big of a moat. If a hospital or somebody wants to switch to a different company than Intuitive Surgical, they can and they will. And I know that it costs time and costs money, but if the hospital has a reason to switch, whether it's they found a cheaper idea, they found a cheaper solution, they found a superior, technologically superior solution, whatever it is, they will switch if they want to. So I don't really buy that. The recurring revenue model, although the vast majority of the revenue, 70% plus, comes from instruments and accessories, which must be replaced after a certain number of uses. The maintenance and service maintenance contracts, their installed base has grown to over 11,000 systems globally, translating to millions of procedures, generating highly predictive recurring cash flows. Great. More than 1,000 cases a day feed into their infrastructure, and because of their I guess because of the amount of data, the AI moat. Sure, that makes sense, but again, that doesn't mean that you're always going to be number one. Um, let's see. These markets are driving the next leg of growth. Da Vinci 5. And okay, I mean, again, this is like I don't think it deserves to trade at 50 times earnings. This hardware upgrade cycle drives high sense of revenue and higher average selling prices. Expansion into general surgery. The fastest growing segment in the U.S. is general surgery, and this is a under-penetrated pool. Ion is the robotic platform for minimally invasive lung biopsies. Procedure volumes are growing exponentially, 40% a year. And then they have international expansion, still possible. Here's the prediction. As of mid-2026, revenue is these numbers. We just went through them. And Again, it trades normally at 65 times earnings, which is insane. But for the next 5 years, the target is about 15% revenue growth, EPS of $18. I don't think that's not going to happen. Maybe on a adjusted basis, which I don't buy into that. On a GAAP basis, it's not going to be doing 18 or $19 in the year 2031. They're going to do 10 next year. They're going from 8, 9, 10. They're going at a dollar, maybe a dollar 50 a year if things might pick up to a dollar 50 a year for the following year, but no, they're going to do like 13. As the company scales past, okay, we get it. So again, even with these numbers though, even with this high number, $800 per share in 5 years. Again, that's less than a double up on your money. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make that on the index. Um, anyways, with the QQQ, I'm already up 25%. From the last couple years, I've done it in a 1 year period. I'm up 25% on the index now that I just bought a couple months ago. Like you will more than double your money over the course of 5 years with the QQQ. 10-year period, okay, $40 EPS. They're saying $1,300 share price, 10 years. That would be a 3x on your money. Still not worth it. So those are just some examples. This is not as much as the stock interests me, the valuation is just too much. I'll pay like 30 times earnings if it really, um, if it comes down to that price, I'll pay like 30 times earnings at the most. A price to sales of 15 is just crazy. That's too much. So that is my analysis for Intuitive Surgical, and that's how I use AI to analyze stocks. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.